Welcome to the bold analysis. I went through the comment section in my previous 3 videos, and I just realized that there is a question that everyone is asking. Quite out of 10, 2 people are asking that question. That Kevin, where are the clergy? I know people who are really loyal viewers of our channel know very well that somewhere in September I did an analysis and I said that the clergy that spiritually endorsed Kenya Kwanza, no, UDA, and the court that really stamped their win should help the Kenyan people to put the government on check. By that time, the dominant narrative by Raila supporters that was Raila was supposed to leave William Ruto's government to run as they want. If they're going to fail, let them fail. That Raila has done enough for this country. But I want to take you through a path why Raila Odinga has been forced to come out and speak. Why Raila is speaking, I want to tell you. You see, immediately the government was formed, the new government was formed, there was some selective issues, some selective projects that were done on revenge missions against Uhuru's handlers. And UDA government takes shape, things were falling into place. So you could see a bit of some other things that happened. You know, remember Waluke case going all the way to the wire. And after Ruto formed the government, through Speaker Moses Wetangula, they galvanized the parliament. And parliament, I can tell you that, not fully, but Ruto have, compared to Raila, Ruto is in control of parliament. Actually, he has the majority in the National Assembly, even though some of those majorities are forced majority. Judiciary, he's been so much close, appointing the judges, and of course, it was following the law. I don't want to say that was wrong. We've seen the executive attending almost every event by the judiciary and vice versa. And so the other understanding was that even judiciary is now working in tandem or working in harmony with the executive. And there is nothing wrong with that. But as government was fashioned, even from the campaign trail, there was an imaginary spiritual endorsement of government. I'm saying imaginary because we've listened to different factions of it. Until now, we don't believe which one is which. We've seen the evangelicals converging, saying, I don't know, they've had very different spiritual versions. And if you think I'm just making an illusion, I want you to listen to this speech by William Ruto in South Korea.
And that reminds me that even as God has given me the opportunity to be the president of Kenya, God is going to come first. As you pray for the rest of the world, remember our country, Kenya, and our continent. I am finally reminded of the words of Daniel 11:32 that say, "But those who know their God, they will do great exploits and they will be strong." In Kenya, you have many men and women of faith. And as I have said, you remember them. I want you to know we have a strong Christian family in the Republic of Kenya. In fact, in the last election, it was not just about issues of politics, it was also a referendum on those who believe in God and those who believe in men. And those who believe in God won.
So that it was between those who, I don't know, did what and those who did what. You see the spiritual aspect. So to some extent, the churches, or rather the clergy, was successfully supporting William Ruto at campaigns. Then when, I don't know whether if Raila would be declared winner, they would have said it's ungodly, I don't know. But that's all they say, that of course it was spiritual endorsement. Just today's date 25, inauguration was on 13th September. Just 2 months as government settles in, we have Kenyans have really have had a different experience. Within these 2 months, we've had a GMO storm, creating serious divide on what should be done. And we've seen opposition making a front, different organizations. This topic has been with us here for almost now 1 week. The education ministry is, after threatening to withdraw to stop funding development universities, there was also another threat to hike fees. Not another threat, but now there is another circular to hike fees in the boarding schools. We've also had people have gone on spree of borrowing, over borrowing. I saw just today, before I was doing this video, Okuru Court speaking about it. Cases are being dropped, and we seems to be dropping or leaving our arsenal on corruption. But in the height of all this, Kenyans have had an element of, Kenyans have restrained. And the one questions that Kenyans are asking, where is the clergy? Where are they? At the campaign trail, you told us that this government is everything is fine on that. So Kenyans are asking, at that time it was used for political messaging. Where are they? That has merged as the weak linked. And people have been, and we want to give credit to it still. I've seen I've seen the Catholic coming out to speak about GMO and giving a position. And the reason why, for me, it's a very legit question to ask, where's the clergy, is because for the first time in the history of our election, for the first time, the church was successfully used to meet the voter, to talk to the voter. It was actually a campaign platform. To some extent, even on Sundays, pastors would campaign. Pastors would campaign on church platforms. We were in this country, we saw those things. So I don't think it's an invalid question to ask, where are they? And I join the voice of Kenyans that are asking, where are they? Now that silence, and with all the progress that was going on, I think Raila team saw a vacuum. Raila saw a vacuum. And the timing was right. And I can tell, I've always said that someone's saying, why not Raila? So, fine, Raila was also here. Why not the rest? Raila, Kalonzo, Martha Karua. They realized that, of course, there is a number of Kenyans that feel uncomfortable. Quite many. Not everyone is comfortable with the way things are going. Or things might not be going the way you want and they're not affecting you. But there are a number of Kenyans who feel like things are not going right. So to talk to that constituency, I think that is why Raila Odinga or the Raila Odinga team have come out. I've seen them, people talking about revolution or so. We are not yet there. But at least my analysis that I said that we should not leave government unchecked. If that is not done, then the Kenyan people are going to be the losers. So if People who are asking, why is the clergy? I'll tell you why. But if you look at that, that's how Ruto fashioned government. So that kila mtu kuna yeye. In the middle of this, even an MP came out and spoke about a constitutional review process to change the term limit. Someone even got that audacity to come to talk to Kenyan people about it. So that's why I'm actually saying that there is a very illusionary loyalty, high loyalty level like Mtukufu, that seems to have been created. I want to tell you why the clergy are not addressing your issues, and they're not nowhere. They're not anywhere. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. Most of the churches that were involved in the campaign were from Mount Kenya. And any voice of any contrary voice of the church, any voice of the church that will be contrary to William Ruto from Mount Kenya or even out of Mount Kenya will most likely be perceived as William Ruto facing rejection. And because of that, I think they have successfully captured the church, even after getting government. We've seen some of them getting some few appointments here and there. We've seen them getting people taking money to church by bags. Na pesa ni sabuni ya roho. So because that is part of the presidency. That's part of the voting of the campaign tool, and it's ingrained in a UDA, in a charter. They have a charter, by the way, an MOU. They cannot dare. The churches cannot dare come out to say something about things that are happening in this country. Because if they do that, the Kenya Kwanza team know very well, the UDA team know very well that it will be understood as rejection. And so everything has to be, they have to be given what they want. Number two, I've always said here, the relationship between clergy and politician is symbiotic. They're politicians, so you need to realize whether your politicians in that group. Symbiotic, where they want something. They always want to get something back. So it's never pushing the interest of the population, but pushing the interest of the individuals. That's why I say, when Raila is talking, I've always said one thing. Do you think Raila doesn't have money? Raila has money. Do you think he has power? He has high-felt power. What do you think he doesn't have? He has everything. Even if today you were to put him in that wheelbarrow and tell him to bond, he will go to bond. Nothing gonna change. But you and me are the people that are going to suffer. When the fees is hiked, Raila does not have a problem with the fees. Even if GMO is imported, Raila will not consume GMO. You will consume GMO. So if there is any risk, it's a bonus. So I've always said, this is it. The position will always push population interest because they also have political interest. When you have a population around you, you can easily push a political interest. Then the spiritual endorsement, was a fallacy. The spiritual endorsement fallacy is putting people in a cocoon, and it's stopping anything contrary that, okay, tulisemani. I see some people saying, Nabi. I don't know what's your take. Why are churches conformists? I say, this country will be at a very good place if people don't become conformists. By the way, don't you know that the MPs, Western MPs, MPs from misgrowing areas that were told to keep quiet about the GMO, one of the reasons was because they are giving opposition a voice, or it's a breeding site for the opposition, and there is opposition within the government. This is just 2 months. How many policies are we going to have around? You can look at that. So we don't need conformists. If all of us are to become conformists to what is happening around, then we won't change anything. We will actually be serving other people interest. That's my take. And what's your take on this, guys?